This is part 9. Welcome to Williams. To understand Cosmo, you've got to understand Cosmo's world. So let's step back a bit and talk about Williams, Oregon. Williams is a tiny, unincorporated community of about 1,000 people, deep in southern Oregon, between Grants Pass and Medford in the Applegate Valley. To give you a sense of the place, the only time Williams made the Oregonian recently was in 2018 when a man who was getting evicted from his mobile home booby-trapped his property and shot and wounded an FBI agent with a wheelchair rigged with fishing line and a shotgun, like Indiana Jones style. Williams' most famous resident was probably a marijuana-eating deer named Sugar Bob, who lived at a local hotel. Sugar Bob was the star of a Daily Show segment in 2015. In the same way that Cosmo was rescued as an abandoned baby crow, Sugar Bob was saved from a river and raised by humans. There's even a book about Sugar Bob at the Williams Library. If you think about stereotypical rural America, you might think of a small conservative town. But in Williams, there are actually lots of hippies. Since the 1970s, the area has been home to communes where people come to live together and get back to nature. To learn more about the area, I talked with Diane Coogle, a longtime editor of the local Applegater newspaper. Diana moved here 50 years ago to live on a commune.
How did I get here? In the hippie movement. It was a back to the land movement. I live here in these mountains because I'm a part of that, well, I hate to call it back to nature movement of the 60s, but it was a part of my upbringing anyway, so I kind of feel like I belonged here. This is rural America, and you know what the perception of rural America is. And Josephine County definitely fits that perception, except there are also a lot of people like me live here because we love it too.
You can see the effects of those early transplants today. Legal and illegal marijuana and hemp are some of the largest crops in the area. Williams is home to Herb Farm, one of the country's largest producers of herbal tinctures, and the Hawthorne Institute, which provides training in Ayurveda, a natural medicine practice that originated in India. There's also a natural grocery store called Takube, where Cosmo had fans. Talia, one of the cashiers, remembered seeing Cosmo and Janelle out and about in Williams.
It was a really magical moment. There's a woman on a horse talking to her pet raven, and his name is Cosmo, and I just fell in love with the moment, and it's one of those moments I'll never forget of how magical life can be. And then I guess he went missing again. I can't recall if there was another story about him being found or not, but I remember just really holding him in the light and hoping that he was going to get found again.
The area attracts people who march to their own drumbeat, who like to live off-grid. There's a lot of New Age spiritualism and prepper homestead type folks. There are even some UFO researchers based in town. I talked about all this with a guy named Rick at Rascals, the only bar in Williams.
For over 50 years now, this place has been attracting people of alternative lifestyles. Sitting at a table having a common conversation, and as small as it is, a few thousand people, virtually every subculture of America is represented here. And they peacefully cohabitate for the most part. That's what makes it beautiful and unique, I think.
When you're living this close to nature, there can be some differing views on how to interact with it. You've got people like Janelle, who will step in and help an animal in distress. But you have others who say the best thing is to let nature take its course.
I don't even have bird feeders. And sometimes I'm really sorry because if I had a bird feeder, I could really watch them. My neighbor who used to live across the road had bird feeders. She fed the crows. And then the bear got into her shed to get to the bird feed that she kept in the shed, and he just tore the door off and ate her bird. So I think up here in the wilds, you're attracting all kinds of creatures, and that's a bad idea. You don't want to feed the bears. Everybody knows that. But it's kind of not a good idea to feed the deer either, or the crows.
Perhaps part of the debate over Cosmo isn't just about how to get along with wildlife. It's also about how we get along with each other.
That's why I think this story is a good story, because it goes beyond just the crow, because when there is dissension in a neighborhood, how do you get neighbors to be neighborly towards each other, to let go of these kinds of emotional attachments? Because here's a situation, very comical in a way, but why do we have to direct hatred and suspicion and anger towards each other?
After talking with Diana, I placed an ad in the Applegater asking for tips about Cosmo. I got one lead about a possible mass crow poisoning by a woman in a blue car. But it was a random email from someone unconnected to Cosmo. And I didn't want to go down another crow rabbit hole. Not when I had a solid lead, one that would take me to a Wendy's parking lot.